Alright guys, it's Drac, and I love my Wipeout blaster. I think it's really great. I showed you in my review video here that when I fire my darts, I can get 50 to 55, even sometimes 60 with good barrel fit out of this thing stock, and that's just ridiculous. I used to have a Predator paintball gun like this, and these, the red ones, are just awful. They've got this breach that comes in through here and it loses a ton of power there. And while they are trickier and harder to prime, it's just not as powerful. So go for these if you can, and I'm going to try and do some stuff with the Predator, and if it works, I'll show it to you at the end of the video. But to start off with, it's got all its Phillips head screws on this side. You have to take pliers and pry off this orange barrel and silver piece up here, because it is the same shell. And then the dart holders will slide off, but I'll show you what it looks like as I'm going through that. Alright, so I removed all the Phillips head screws. They're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I ended up having to cut this orange piece on either side, sort of like I did the Star Wars blasters, because there was really no way to twist it off. The dart holders just broke off. I didn't really like them that much anyway. And I also cut off the silver thing up top, which is where paintballs would have loaded if it was a paintball blaster, but it isn't. It's kind of a knockoff of the pistol splats. So when you open it up, there is nothing in this side of the shell, and here are your internals. This doesn't make any sense except for, I guess, to hold the barrel up against here. It was originally, that spring reset the breach in the paintball blasters, but it doesn't do that anymore. This is the plunger tube, plunger system, priming bar is up here, and a spring. The spring is actually weaker than it was in that Predator pistol splat, but it gets better ranges. So I may try swapping the springs to get even more power out of this. The trigger return, and trigger catch are all pretty simple, and there's the priming bar. I'm going to rebarrel this and take a look at it. Alright, so this is my rebarreling. I cut down the shell so that the coupler would fit, and then I'm going to epoxy and then epoxy putty over and maybe use some goop to seal this in. The Teflon tape's just a spacer. Alright, so this is the finished form of the Wipeout blaster, which I'm now calling the Obliviator because it's got a really unique absolver on it. Now, it still does single shots through this coupler, which is puttied on and just really locked into place. It's very nicely done. It's got a great air seal and it'll shoot any kind of dart. It's got a sticky dart in it right now. I prime it and fire, and those get at least 60, 65 feet. Really nice shots out of this single shot. Now this is my CPVC. It's just a T, a couple of elbows, and two barrels. It's got streamlines in it, but they'll shoot any kind of dart, and it's so easy, because if I make 3 of these, I can just pop in these double-barreled shots, and those shots each get about 45 to 50 feet, and I just love the way this blaster performs. But that's my Obliviator, and it works really well. The only other thing that I'll be doing to this in the future is I'll be using this as a brace and these two, and I'll be turning it into a slingshot for socks, because I think that that's a really cool kind of function of the double barrels done this way. I know that there's a lot of dead space in here. I don't really care because I'm still getting great shots, and I may plug it later with something. Thanks for watching.